Hello, welcome. It's Neil Dugan here. Welcome to the Depression Challenge, and today we're going to have a look at this this cycle aspect of being happy. And of course, everybody thinks that being happy is a wonderful thing. And in an earlier video, we talked about some of the pitfalls associated with happy. But the question is, is this heaven or is it hell? And if I decide it's somewhere in between, or perhaps more towards that hell experience, then what do I do about it? So we're going to answer that question right now. Firstly, you're going to have a generally positive outlook. Now, that sounds like a very pleasant thing to have, but it is definitely an aspect of this happy phase, and you have a generally positive outlook around things, albeit there's a lot of clouds actually in the way of your perception, but generally speaking you're in a positive frame of mind. While it's positive, there won't be very much activation, so it'll be a pretty dull type of positive outlook. So it's just a generally happy, bit of a smile type of situation, but it's not very excited. If it were very excited, you might consider that you were actually sitting in that aspect of the fast cycle. If you look hard at what's going on while you're in this stage, you'll realize that many of the difficult issues in your life are being glossed over, so they're literally just being turned away from. So in the back of your mind, you're aware of the fact that there are issues going on in your life, but you're just putting them out to one side so that you can have a smile for a moment. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's definitely a sign that you're in this state of being happy. You'll have a very high focus on your possessions, so all of the things to which you're identified with or attached to. So this could be partners or husbands or family members, children. It could be to do with possessions like your car or your house, some beautiful things that somebody's given you. Whatever it is, you'll find that there's a very strong focus on your possessions at this point. And of course, while you're in this happy phase, the possibilities of you actually waking up or choosing or wanting to choose to wake up will be very reduced, and there'll be aspects of yourself which are willfully constricting these kinds of desires around waking up. So what do? We begin by looking for all of the uncomfortable truths. So everybody has uncomfortable truths, and there'll be things about their life as it stands at the moment, and certainly there'll also be about patterns and habits which have been running for many, many years. So go out and find these uncomfortable truths. Have a look at the emotions associated with those truths. So when you actually contemplate any one of those uncomfortable truths, what emotions are coming up, and can you see a relationship between those emotions or feelings and body symptoms? So very, very likely that there's some sort of physical body symptoms going on if you're suffering from anxiety or depression or mania for that matter. And so have a look at the symptoms, the body symptoms that you're experiencing, and see if you can link out from those body symptoms back into these feelings associated with these uncomfortable truths. Hopefully by doing that process, what you'll be encouraging yourself to do is actually answer the question of, I don't want to be doing this, or do I want to be staying asleep? How comfortable am I staying asleep? And if you've actually identified these uncomfortable truths and had a look at the feelings and what it does to your body by actually maintaining these feelings and issues around the uncomfortable truths, then you'll want to actually answer the question by saying, I actually want to wake up. I want to wake up and see what might possibly be done to resolve all of these feelings around these uncomfortable truths and the body symptoms that come on from it. So just as with the earlier ones, what you do to commence this process is you make the intention. So the intention is that I want to wake up, and particularly you want to wake up around issues associated with these uncomfortable truths. So you don't have to come on day one try and wake up on every single thing, but what you do is you actually identify this uncomfortable truth and you say, I want to wake up to all of the issues sitting around this uncomfortable truth. So you recall the last 3 videos we've been looking at the phases of the awakening cycle, and what you do is you start at number 1. So you actually allow yourself to go through a cycle in the positive ascending cycle. So you start off with an initiation. So we've identified this initiation, and we do that from our emotions. So we get some emotional feeling behind the intention to actually make this change. We then allow the process around looking at it and actually confirming that it is a practical option, and then allowing the reconciliation to come through from your intelligence, your higher intelligence, and make sure that it's all reconciled and harmonized and ready to go, and implement it. Actually implement it coming out of those 3 phases back into the awake phase again. So rather than what would normally be happening coming out of happy, is that you go into a descending spiral, starting with the consumption, going into giving up control, then deciding that you want control again, and then finding that you've got enough control so you're sort of a little bit happy now. So rather than that, we're doing exactly the opposite. We're starting down there, we're saying we have an intention around waking up. This is what we're going to wake up around. I have some emotional feeling behind this intention. I'm going to make sure it's practical, and I'm going to reconcile and harmonize all of this from my higher intelligence. So this awakening process here will be giving tremendous energy. So it actually has a whole energy of itself. And here what we're doing is we're actually allowing the arising of these very positive emotions. So these are the emotions like joy and bliss, contentment, forgiveness and acceptance, to name a few. So there's many of these very positive emotions which will be arising. So these will be what will actually be arising in you. And we're calling them emotions. They're not like the emotions that we're talking about before, which are all these destructive emotions. These are the emotions of the awakening cycle. The last step is to feel a connection between your heart. So by heart we're really talking about the spirit and the higher self. So allow this sort of heart connection to be fully integrated with the cycle. So with this awake emotions, awake practical mind, awake intellect. So we allow this sort of harmonization to be occurring, and with every step we're doing, every cycle we're going around, we're getting better at it and better at it and better at it. Okay, so that's really what I've got to say on the topic of self-help, about what you can do if you find yourself in the state of being asleep or happy. And tomorrow and the next 2 days after that, so the next 3 days, we're going to be identifying what we can do about the 3 main barriers to all of the stuff that we're talking about. And the 3 main barriers are what the ego is doing, what the pain body is doing, and what I have termed the disease body are doing. So we've got these 3 aspects which will be creating all kinds of havoc as you're actually trying to go into these cycles, this upward cycle, this ascending cycle. So the last 3 videos in the series are going to be identifying what's happening with each one of these barriers. So each, the ego, the pain body and the disease body, we're going to have a look at how each of them are acting to create barriers into what we're doing. So hope you found that useful. If you have, please like and share. And remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. There'll be a lot more material coming out that I'll be publishing even after these 3 videos from the last videos of the series. And there'll be 3 webinars and that type of thing as well. So subscribe and please share. So share it with all your friends. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Bye.